And what I really loved about the whole Kohli scenario was the way that Indian team has started to work around Kohli, making him the center and working around him. Rahul was actually telling him कि we could read that language to say कि यार क्यों मारा मैं मार रहा हूँ.
हाँ
But
हाँ,
uh,
he said
yeah,
कि मैं
he said
मार रहा हूँ ना
मैं
यार,
मार
तुझे क्या
कि
जरूरत
मैं
है.
मार रहा हूँ. Kind of shows is that the team now realizes that you need somebody like a Kohli to, and if Kohli is settled down in 99 out of 100 times with this kind of behavior that the other people are displaying around him, India is likely to win the
So
match.
this is the most un-Islamic tournament which has ever been held in the history of cricket. All the four Islamic nations got knocked out before the semi-final. Okay, आपका जो फाइनल है चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी उसमें ग्रीन जर्सी वाला एक भी टीम नहीं खेल रहा. बस 1280 करोड़ उनने खर्च किया है तो उनका प्रॉब्लम है ना. They could have utilized it in a scam also. New Zealand have I think 5 centurions. Pakistan has 0 centurions. Why? Because you did not invite Zimbabwe to the competition. You did not invite Papua New Guinea to the competition. You did not invite Yellapudu Cricket Club Trichy in the competition. If you don't invite these teams in the competition, how can Pakistan score a century?
एक सेकेंड, एक सेकेंड, ये चैनल आप इसको स्ट्राइक ऑफ करवा के आप दम लोगे मेरे ख्याल से. Okay, so good evening to all of you. Eat, sleep, drink, cricket में सबका स्वागत है. और खुशी में मंडराते हुए अभिजीत और बहुत ज्यादा स्माइल करते हुए अमित, कुछ ज्यादा ही गोरे दिख रहे हैं, क्या हो गया? और फिर पूरे मतलब ऐसे इतना स्माइल करते हुए भास्कर, वेरी गुड. सो अच्छा है, आप सबको ऐसे हंसते खेलते देख के मुझे बड़ा खुशी हो रहा है. एंड वी ऑल नो व्हाई वी आर सो हैप्पी. Obviously, because India has reached the final of Champions Trophy, so good to see all of you. So today our main topic is the preview of the final, and it's very good because we were thinking that probably this New Zealand versus South Africa game may go till 11. क्या होगा ये वो करके. न्यूजीलैंड ने तो पूरा ही कचरा कर दिया है साउथ अफ्रीका का. They just killed it everything, and we thought that SA will choke, but as Bhaskar mentioned in the WhatsApp, he said they are outplayed. So there is no choke at all. There is no choke today, obviously. Fair game, New Zealand won. So I'm starting with the person. So I always give the first talk to the person who gets starts first. So Avijit was the first one to enter this thing. So मैं अभिजीत से start करता हूँ. और मुझे ये बताएं अभिजीत कि so we'll take a small thing about today's match and then we'll go to the final, in which you can talk about India, Australia, and then the preview. Both you can talk. So the first question to you is South Africa versus New Zealand. So New Zealand, the better team is going, you think, to the final?
Yeah. Actually, I had already mentioned in my post yesterday that New Zealand will likely go because, as Bhaskar often says, South Africa are a team who knows every possible way to lose a match. So, I mean, although the commentators kept saying that South Africa is the second best team in the tournament, I do remember in many past tournaments people would say India is the second best team in the tournament, and then they would meekly lose out in a semi-final or a quarter-final. That when I saw the South Africa performance, it reminded me that. Honestly, once New Zealand crossed 300 odd, I mean, once we knew New Zealand are going to score 300 plus, we knew कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. नो मैटर कितना फ्लैट पिच हो, कुछ भी हो, प्लास्टिक बॉल भी ला दे नॉर्मल बॉल के अगेंस्ट, तो भी साउथ अफ्रीका विल लूज बिकॉज it is in their nature. Some natures you don't, it doesn't change easily. Unless they win a World Cup from somewhere out of the blue, it is not going to change. Rajiv. But right. Rajiv, I also have some comments on the Champions Trophy. I'm very disappointed with the Champions Trophy. Can you give me a segment? I'll just speak on it.
हाँ, वो सब बात करेंगे, आप टेंशन ना लो, सब बात करेंगे. राइट. अच्छा, सो अमित, नेक्स्ट आपके पास आते हैं. सो न्यूजीलैंड वर्सेस साउथ अफ्रीका, व्हाट आर योर इनिशियल थॉट्स? न्यूजीलैंड जा रहा है. I think the right team is going to the final.
Yeah, I from a performance standpoint, definitely the right team is going. Although, as an Indian fan, I probably wanted South Africa to be there to ease out the matters, but obviously that's not happening. And this I'm not worried as such because India is playing very good cricket. But the fact is that it's always that mindset that teams come with, having lost in the previous match, and that whole attitude that they will come back with more sharper. And I just want India to make sure that they don't get complacent. I think we just need to remind ourselves that it was not a very easy win for us when we are not scored very heavy, and that's all I'd like to leave them with. But I think overall New Zealand's performance was brilliant, and I really feel that South Africa has not performed well. I mean, I don't know for whatever reasons. We of course know that the wicket is not very good, and like Avijit said, we'll talk about that a little bit more during that segment. But on the given day, love to see Miller what he did in the end. It was quite heartening to see him getting the century, but and it means nothing. And I think all credit to New Zealand for the way they played, the way they fielded, batted, brilliant. And Glenn Phillips, brilliant. I mean, outstanding performance. Rajiv.
भास्कर, आप क्या कहेंगे? आप मैच देख पाए क्या? कुछ व्हाट्सएप पे कुछ कमेंट नहीं किए? ऐसा लग
Yeah,
रहा है आप खुद खेलने
I
चले गए।
saw. No, मैंने देखा है. No, मैं देखने गया था. I'm in this place called in Satna district in Madhya Pradesh. So I couldn't really watch the whole match, but I've been watching on and off. मैं देख रहा था match. So I was watching Sachin Ravindra and Kane Williamson going. I think that's the moment. I think once that partnership flourished, you knew that South Africa already staring down the barrel. You could see the shoulders dropping, and you could see in Bauma's face that he already knows that he's going to be chasing 350 plus. And South Africa, they struggle when the pressure is on. But here, at least, they had the opportunity to just go all out. Probably this was the best thing for them to happen because there's no way of choking. Choke happens when they know the victory is in sight, the way what happened in the T20 World Cup final, and then they start struggling. They start doing all weird kind of things like what happened in the '99 semi-final and all those things. We all know what has happened over the many years in history. So, but this is the only trophy they had won back in '98. So that's one silver lining they might have had. But I think it was like there was no chance. The way New Zealand played, the way Mitchell Santner has been leading the team, it's been remarkable. He's just taken to captaincy like duck to water. So I think this New Zealand team is, and the way they've won in India, I think they know how to play spin, and they're really mastering the batting in subcontinental conditions. Rajiv.
Career Igniter, your gateway to success. From expert resume building and premium interview coaching to leadership development, we help you stand out and land your dream job. Unlock your potential with personalized career guidance. Proud sponsors of the Eat, Sleep, Drink Cricket podcast.
तो साउथ अफ्रीका डिड नॉट एक्चुअली चोक. वो तो मतलब वो इतना बेकार खेल गया कि पता ही नहीं चला. एंड आई मेंशन्ड इन व्हाट्सएप आल्सो, राइट? मिलर तो ऐसा खेल रहा था जैसे नेट रन रेट बचा रहा हो अपना, कि हम बचा लेंगे इस नेट रेट और लास्ट 3 ओवर्स में मारने का. दैट डजंट वर्क दैट वे. सेकंड, आई आल्सो फील दैट साउथ अफ्रीका at the top 3 they had the Trickleton is somebody who goes very quick and all. But when Vander Dusen and this fellow Bavuma, they both play in the same style, it doesn't help. I mean, you always need one guy who can hit. And they had 2 guys, right? They had Klaasen and they had Miller. So they should have got Klaasen at number 3. This was the right opportunity. Out हो गया तो हो गया, लेकिन at least वो ऊपर आके खेल सकता था. So I don't know, and that was a very, very poor decision. And the biggest poor decision is Bavuma. What is he doing as a captain? I don't know. I mean, so anyway, so I think New Zealand played very well. We have seen over the years, right? I mean, जो 30 overs तक तो यार उनका एक ही विकेट गिरा था. तो टॉप ऑर्डर जो बचा के रखता है. So interesting stat for all of you, right? First 30 overs में 181 स्कोर किया. वो कहते हैं ना, डबल करते हैं हम 30 ओवर्स में, विल डबल आवर स्कोर इन द नेक्स्ट 20 ओवर्स. एग्जैक्टली 181 मारा उन्होंने नेक्स्ट 20 ओवर्स. सो द टेम्पलेट, द सेंसिबल क्रिकेट जिसका बात करते हैं ना, न्यूजीलैंड करते हैं. आई विल ब्रिंग दिस टॉपिक अगेन व्हेन वी एक्चुअली डू द प्रीव्यू. सो आई वांट टू गो टू अमित फर्स्ट नाउ. I'll get Avijit also, who is also very excited bowling, but I want to hear the news first from Amit, and then the memes from Avijit on why so Pakistan तो फाइनल भी नहीं होस्ट कर रहा. आई एम गोइंग टू दैट टॉपिक कि वो फाइनल भी अब होस्ट नहीं कर पाएगा. तो चल क्या रहा है, मतलब भाई इतना दिल क्यों जल रहा है बेचारों का?
So there are 2-3 things that are going on as far as Pakistan's thought process on this Champions Trophy is concerned. So first of all, their media does not know that PCB has chosen Dubai and not India. So that's the first point of contention. I think after a lot of hue and cry today, one of the media channels has finally come to conclusion that all this cry going on for the last 5 days means nothing because they only chose Dubai. So आज बड़ा मजेदार हुआ कि उसने कहा कि अरे हमको तो पता ही नहीं था कि पीसीबी ने चूज किया, ये सच है क्या? And they chose Dubai for gate money, वो भी चली गई हाथ से. So that's the first interesting thing. Second thing, now they are saying that the semi-final between India and Australia was basically handled and fixed to a certain extent with Maxwell playing Kohli's friend's role. And now, where it is coming from, they say that have you ever seen Maxwell getting out like this? Have you seen Maxwell dropping a catch like this? And then after next over, he and Kohli are exchanging smiles. His wife is an Indian. So you can imagine the level to which the things are going on there, and they are saying that that Australia purposely gave the match out. Now, what I don't understand, and which what really surprises me, is that they don't look at the drops that India makes or the catches that India drops. They only look at the catches that the other team drops, and they only comment on that. And very interestingly, if you go and look at Gambhir's press conference, he said that we are not even those pitches. We are playing on the pitches for practice pitches which the ICC is curated. So where is the undue advantage we are talking about? So that is one very interesting thing that is happening. Secondly, the problem that has happened in PCB now and what they are worried about is some of the channels have shown people running away from the stadium after the rains hit, Pakistan. So the roof and all has been blown away in Gaddafi. So a big question coming on the amount of money that is being spent. ICC is questioning now the money spent by them because a certain percentage of the money for the new stadiums was also contributed by ICC. So there is another committee that is reviewing that in Pakistan now. And last but not the least, they are all extremely upset for the fact that they have hosted the Champions Trophy with just nothing happening there, even the final going away. And that's why the entire PCB has come for a huge flack. So a pretty unfortunate scenario for Pakistan overall. And I think it will continue to be like this for the next few days, looking at the kind of team selection that has happened. So the biggest joke that has happened, Rajiv, is that Akib Javed has taken full responsibility of this. And after all of that, they have told him, okay, fine, you only go and select the team for the New Zealand upcoming New Zealand series. So it's a farce. I mean, I can just say that. Over to you, Rajiv.
Yeah, I think he selected just a team, just कुछ काम चल जाए, कुछ तो हो जाए, because and also आप host कर रहे हो, यहाँ पे आप selection भी कर रहे हो, मतलब everything is gone. So मतलब कोई तुक नहीं है ना, there's nothing which is planned, and the way they have conducted this Champions Trophy is exactly the way they have chosen the next selection also. So the mindset is there. So अभिजीत दास पटनायक, आपका जो प्रीव्यू था, आता हूं अमित, आपके पास आता हूं, आपका जो प्रीव्यू था बहुत ज्यादा वायरल कर दिया आप, ठीक है, मतलब इतना अच्छा मिमिक्री तो बहुत सारे, एक यूट्यूबर पाकिस्तानी है वो, उसका हुआ एक, आप अगला आप ही होंगे जिसने इतना सॉलिड रिजवान का मिमिक्री किया आपने। सो बताएं आप, आपकी क्या सोच है, ये मतलब चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी इतना बड़ा फ्लॉप कैसे हो गया?
So actually, I totally agree with Amit. It is farce and it is fixed. Champions Trophy is one of the worst tournaments मैंने आज तक लाइफ में देखा. पहली बात तो this is the most un-Islamic tournament which has ever been held in the history of cricket. All the 4 Islamic nations got knocked out before the semi-finals. Okay, England, Pakistan, Afghanistan,
एक सेकेंड,
and Bangladesh.
एक सेकेंड, ये चैनल आप डीमोनेटाइज भी करवाओ, डीमोनेटाइज तो छोड़ो, मतलब हमारा क्या मोनेटाइजेशन, अंडा है हमारा मोनेटाइजेशन, इसको स्ट्राइक ऑफ करवा के आप दम लोगे मेरे ख्याल से।
I think you told that you cannot talk in between. This is again another problem with the Champions Trophy only. Y'all have made this a personal fiefdom. Okay, आपका जो फाइनल है चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी, उसमें ग्रीन जर्सी वाला एक भी टीम नहीं खेल रहा. इट इज द मोस्ट अन-इस्लामिक टूर्नामेंट आई हैव एवर सीन इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ क्रिकेट. ओके, इट इज एक्चुअली अ हराम टूर्नामेंट. वाई इंडिया में चारों तरफ मीम्स क्यों निकला हुआ है कि 1280 करोड़ पाकिस्तान ने खर्च किया है? बस 1280 करोड़ उनने खर्च किया है तो उनका प्रॉब्लम है ना. दे कुड हैव यूटिलाइज्ड इट इन अ स्कैम आल्सो. They didn't utilize it in a scam, no. They spent on the stadiums, 1280. So that way Pakistan was right. All the countries में से कुछ ना minimum एक player है जिसने century बनाया. Some New Zealand have I think 5 centurions. Pakistan has 0 centurions. Why? Because you did not invite Zimbabwe to the competition. You did not invite Papua New Guinea to the competition. You did not invite Yellapudu Cricket Club Trichy in the competition. If you don't invite these teams in the competition, how can Pakistan score a century? This is not happening. Today 3 p.m. I am telling you, today 3 p.m. I switched on the TV for the semi-final. In India, 3 crore people were watching. Jio Hotstar, 3 crore viewers. In Lahore Gaddafi Stadium, there were 300 people, including the 22 players and the 2 umpires. All included. There were 300 people. Why? Rest of Pakistan have gone to Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela is also ended. No, you cannot say they have gone to Kumbh Mela now. So, this is a farce. And then again, Dubai to why host it in Dubai? Dubai is an unfair advantage to India, I agree. Because other countries, they have to travel Dubai to Karachi. That is a 2-hour flight. If this was hosted in one country, let's say India, those people would have needed to fly from Chennai to Delhi. That is just a 3-hour flight. A Chennai to Guwahati is just a 3-hour flight. In 3-hour flight, you can settle, you can have your meals and then get down. That is good. If you have injuries, you can rejuvenate, recuperate. This Dubai to Karachi flights are just 2 hours flight. How could England or New Zealand, anybody recuperate after that? 2 hours flight, you understand? You sit down, you barely sit down, you have to get down. Then again in India, who is your most popular meme which is coming out in India? Kohli. Okay, Kohli number 1. He scored runs. Okay, he scores runs. He is equal to Babar Azam. So he scores runs. Okay, Babar Azam, as per most Pakistan cricket experts, is the best cricketer ever, ahead of Zahir Abbas and
cover drive.
he has a cover drive. His cover drive is best. Okay, but aside Kohli, who is India's Babar Azam, who is the other person you all have glamorized a lot? Jai Shah. Why does Jai Shah come in memes in India during Champions Trophy? For everything, Jai Shah is coming. Oh, Jai Shah has fixed this. He's ensured Pakistan are out of the tournament. He's ensured that tournament is out of Pakistan. This is one of the most farce and fixed tournaments ever. I think a non-Islamic nation is going to win this tournament, and it is going to be very unfair for cricket. Rajiv.
बस करो मेरे बाप ये तो फुल धुलाई कर दी अच्छा ये थोड़ा मतलब इतना कॉमेडी होने के बाद भास्कर मैं आपके पास आता हूँ थोड़ा सा सीरियसली बात कर लेते हैं इस मामले में कि आई एम नॉट गेटिंग इनटू दिस चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी थिंग आई थिंक वी हैव कवर्ड पाकिस्तान एनफ नाउ सो इंडिया वर्सेस ऑस्ट्रेलिया एनी anything on the preview, any review, anything which you want to say on India versus Australia? कुछ आप क्या बोलना चाहेंगे? Did India play well? I mean, how do we know they played well? But is there any chunks you see? One of the thing is the bowling.
I think the bowling was quite okay because Australia batted first, and we I think it was not that difficult to pitch, and then 265 was a very good total. We restricted them to. So I don't think much of a problem in the bowling. And Australia had their first string, the main batting at the main batsman. All the 7 batsmen are their first choice players. So there's nothing to say that they didn't have this player or that player. So I think that's where India did a brilliant job. The way Stephen Smith was batting at it looked like he'll get to 280, 290. Very rarely that he misses a ball like that. That's where Sami bowling that one delivery at extra pace, I think, made a huge difference. I think that one moment, I would say, was the most crucial moment in the whole match. Stephen Smith getting out to Shami at that crucial moment. Uske baad se we saw Australia couldn't get close to 300. And again, coming to India's batting, I think, of course, Virat Kohli played the superb knock. I think without him, I'm not too sure how far he would have gone. But that Kohli-Shreyas Iyer partnership, the way Shreyas Iyer has been batting after his comeback, I think it's really heartening to see. He's not throwing away his wicket, playing very sensibly, and I think that's really brilliant to see. The only thing, if at all, if Kohli had fallen instead of Shreyas Iyer, the moment when Shreyas Iyer got out, both Akshar and Shreyas and Hardik, would they have got us close to the target? That's my only concern there. But for that, I think Akshar scoring that crucial 27, Hardik coming back and finishing, and KL Rahul playing like high school cricket, the way we used to see the great players like Dhoni and Yuvraj doing it maybe a decade back. I think KL Rahul played a wonderful knock. It doesn't look a great knock, and some people say he came in when the match was already won. That's not the case. So I think his innings would really go a long way in him getting confidence about finishing those crucial games. It was after all a semi-final against Australia, so it can't be. It was not that easy a ride. Australia just needs an inch, and they just put a foot in. So I think that's where I think all of them contributing, Hardik contributing, Akshar contributing. I think that was really heartening to see. The only negative aspect I would see in the whole batting thing was the way Rohit Sharma got out. He gave so many chances, and then at least he should have made it count. Actually, he should have. And the shot he got out to, he has got out to that shot quite often. A full ball where he tries to sweep, he misses it, and it goes and like he gets LBW against an average, below average spin bowler. Rajiv.
Yeah, you pretty much covered everything now, how the performance went. So thank you for that. You're right. I mean, I think it was good performance, but if Maxwell had latched onto that catch of Kohli, and then what would have, so maybe Shreyas may not have played that shot because he wanted to accelerate, and that's why he played that shot against Zampa, but he may not have played that at that time. But would they have taken India to win? We don't know. So that is something which we have to see. Also, Maxwell, many people say he dropped the catch, but he did not. What happened is he just got hidden by the bowler. The bowling कर रहा था, उसके सामने एकदम से आ गया, तो he didn't know, and that's why he dropped. So happens. That is what happens. Now, I mean, coming to Amit, आपके पास ही आ रहा हूँ, आप ही के पास आ रहा हूँ.
No. I'm saying he didn't cover him. It was not like that. The bowler actually initially went for it.
Yeah. So
It was
something.
So he first made an attempt and withdrew.
Yeah.
So that kind of put Maxwell off, and that's why that catch was dropped. Maxwell is not a guy who would drop catches. I mean, such things can happen anytime.
Yeah.
But I think to Bhaskar's point, I still feel that yes, I think it would have been a tough situation if Kohli had gone earlier. But I also believe that this Indian team has the ability to now adapt themselves to the situation. So I don't think that probably Hardik would have played the way he did if Kohli wicket had gone earlier. I think Hardik just came in, bam, 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 finished, and just went off, and the match was over. But I think he would have probably adjusted to the game. And this is where the advantage of batting till 8 comes in, where you still have Jaddu sitting behind, who's also, I would say, one of the very responsible players, when it comes to situations like this. And I believe that that's why, because of Jadeja's ability, they have retained and put him behind so that, he can play that role if required. And what I really loved about the whole Kohli scenario was the way that Indian team has started to work around Kohli, making him the center and working around him. Rahul was actually telling him कि, we could read that language to say कि यार क्यों मारा मैं मार रहा हूँ. I don't know if you saw that.
हाँ, he said.
Yeah,
कि मैं
he said
मार रहा हूँ ना
कि
यार, तुझे क्या
कि
जरूरत
मैं
है?
मार रहा हूँ.
हाँ.
So what it kind of shows is that the team now realizes that you need somebody like a Kohli to, and if Kohli is settled down, in 99 out of 100 times with this kind of behavior that the other people are displaying around him, India is likely to win the match. That is how it's kind of now coming on, which is very good for us. And if that happens, it's either him or Shubman Gill. The other person who I see probably playing a role like Kohli probably now in future is Shubman Gill. So that's something to see for me. And I'm drawing a lot of confidence from that for the final as well. Rajiv.
You had something to say about the championship. I don't
Uh,
want.
No, I was just saying that Pakistan was on the verge of making another unique record, where a drop player, was coming back and going to become the captain, but then they
Yeah.
suddenly realized
Yeah.
that, and that's why they
Shadab.
made him the vice. Yeah, that's why they made him the vice captain to say that okay, at least we are not. So I was just making that
Unbelievable.
point.
In fact, if you remember, I had sent a WhatsApp message. What was doing on the rounds was that they all actually wanted Shadab to become the captain. But then they said कि कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो जाएगा, and then they got Salman Ali Agha to become the captain. And, unbelievable. Pakistan क्या नहीं कर सकता. Anyways, so okay, so we are coming to now the last part, which is the final preview. So Abhijit, I'm coming to you, so you can start off with the final preview. And what I require, I mean, what is the thing is that India is playing 4 spinners. Now, what happened with Australia is that these 4 spinners, Kuldeep was a bit of off color, but he bowled some overs which he's not comfortable. He's not done that, and that's why he probably got clobbered a bit. And also, what happened is that if you play four spinners, one spinner is going to go for runs. Because they will take couple of people, they will go after them. वो तो होगा ही होगा, मतलब आप बंद नहीं कर सकते उसको. तो आप कैसे देखते हैं? How do you think Harshit Rana should play one spinner drop? How do you see this? Because 8 batting theory तो मुझे बंद होते हुए नहीं दिख रहा. Because that is the surety of ensuring कि आपका बैटिंग कवर्ड है, हर चीज कवर्ड है.
So yeah, I think one of Rohit Sharma's biggest contributions to this white ball team has been the 8 batsman 6 bowler formula, and it has worked wonders for us. Especially after, not that in 2023 World Cup we were bad, but 2023 World Cup was a home tournament. We were anyways expected to reach the semi-finals, but the tournament in West Indies and the tournament here, I think 8 batsmen makes a big difference. I heard Bhaskar said that why was Rohit going out and trying to hit shots, because I think he has the comfort of 8 batsmen. He knows the size of the target. He knows this is not a 350 target, but he knew that the pitch is a bit sluggish. Sluggish pitch का problem क्या होता है? दोनों bowling attack को काफी हद तक negate करता है. The difference in quality. That's why even this raw Australian bowling attack started looking very nice, very good because of this sluggish pitch. अगर 350 pitch में दोनों team खेलता, the difference in India and Australia would have been a lot more, the gap in quality. So Rohit knew pitch thoda sluggish hai, so he wanted to get ahead of the run rate, which is fair. He knows he has a long batting lineup. He trusts his batsmen to do that. So I don't blame him for that one. So the other thing is, there were a lot of if scenarios you all were talking. If Kohli out hota, if Maxwell out hota. Boss, if in games of ifs and buts, there was a ball from Akshar Patel which hit Smith's bat and rolled onto the stumps, but the bails didn't fall. Had the bails fallen, I actually didn't see Australia score more than 190 to 220. That was one. Although I know Shami had 2 half chances also, which is not. So in a game of ifs and buts, बहुत सारी चीज होता है ना. Rishabh Pant would not attempt that 6 at Melbourne versus Travis Head. वो bench draw होता, हम Sydney जीत जाते, बहुत कुछ होता. So let's forget the ifs and buts. The reality is, all 4 of us are quietly confident that India is going to win the final. It is because of the fact that the maturity the Indian team has displayed, the sense of responsibility they displayed, especially in the semi-final while chasing a 265 versus a quality. I mean, Australians never give up. They fight. Even when you are at 264, they will fight till you have reached that 265 or 266 target. They are that good a team. So I think, none of the batsmen threw away the wicket apart from, you can say, Rohit, but he was taking a chances. They made the bowlers earn for the stumps. It was a very calculated approach. And all this itna jo maturity hai, this is basically the Dhoni mantra. Don't throw away your wicket, take the match to the deep. This is basically what Dhoni tried to teach us for a decade. Sometimes we learned, sometimes we didn't learn. But this comes now after the pain of 0-3 loss to New Zealand home series, the pain of the Ahmedabad in 2023 World Cup. I think the team feels the pain and they have decided to take on the. If you see, we are not misfielding. Ek aadh catch idhar udhar drop, but that every team is dropping. Our fielding is going very good. Our running between wickets is very good. In fact, we have the most number of green ticks in all aspects. So the India-New Zealand dead rubber game, India were 30 for 3. That's not going to happen every day. That is India's only Achilles heel. We will be 40 for 3 any day. That it has happened once already. The likelihood of that happening again is very, very, very less. So, and I don't see this New Zealand team in a sluggish pitch with India's bowling attack even reaching 240. They will be making less than 240. Coming to Harshit Rana versus, I think Kuldeep Yadav would be in question now because Varun took 5 wickets against the same New Zealand team. I think it is worth a discussion. Even Arshdeep was worth a discussion had he played the dead rubber, but I doubt if the team will go for any changes at this crucial juncture. But I would think, looking at how Nathan Ellis was effective in the second half, Shami was effective, even Hardik Pandya has been effective. I think there is merit in taking Harshit Rana in place of Kuldeep Yadav. Rajiv.
Yeah, now that's going to be the only selection point, right, Bhaskar? कि हर्षित को लेना है कुलदीप की जगह. कुलदीप फॉर एवरीथिंग इज बीन डूइंग वेल. पाकिस्तान के साथ 3 विकेट लिया, बांग्लादेश के साथ 2 विकेट लिया, फिर और भी मतलब 2-3 विकेट चटकाए न्यूजीलैंड के साथ ही. ऐसा नहीं कि उसने खराब किया, बट कॉम्बिनेशन भी एक चीज हो जाता ना, तो वो होगा कैसा होगा. आप कैसे देखते हैं इस प्रीव्यू को? आप हाउ डू सी द फाइनल कमिंग इन?
पहली बात, मुझे नहीं लगता है कि अभी चेंज करेंगे, क्योंकि सी even if Harshit Rana comes in, then we'll have only 30 overs of spin. Now, like we have the luxury of bowling 40 overs of spin. And with Hardik in the mix, uh, I think even if Harshit plays, then Hardik will probably bowl little less, isn't it? So if Hardik can bowl 7, 8 overs, then we don't really need Harshit Rana as such. That's the advantage, that's the luxury which Hardik, a player like Hardik gives us. So I think there's no need to go back and pick Harshit now. Let Kuldeep play because then that gives us the option of playing to like bowling 40 full overs of spin if required, that is. And we have Shami also bowling. So I don't think there's any point in right now going back to Harshit when Kuldeep is already doing the job. Of course, he didn't take many wickets against Australia, but at least we've seen that spin is more effective than pace. So pace also is you are getting some help, but then we already have two pace bowlers who can bowl 10 overs each. So I don't think there's any point in right now changing the combination because the team is just coming to a level where they're absolutely peaking. So I don't see any changes. Rajiv.
Okay. Abhijit, you have a point. If you have a point, you have to make it in 30 seconds. I'm going to Amit now.
Yeah, since Bhaskar is saying that Harshit is not going to be effective, and Bhaskar is equating Harshit and Hardik Pandya, then I think he's totally wrong. I think Harshit is a match winner. If you see all his past matches, he comes and he takes 2-3 wickets, and he takes only blue chip wickets. Second of all, Bhaskar ने जिस player को बोला कि Akshar Patel is not very utility, he bats too high and all. Akshar Patel is now in running for man of the tournament. In fact, he's the top contender for man of the tournament. भास्कर क्वेश्चन करता है केएल राहुल का फॉर्म ठीक नहीं है, केएल राहुल इज एक्चुअली विनिंग अस मैच. तो अगर भास्कर गाली दे रहा है कि हर्षित को नहीं खेलना चाहिए, आई थिंक हर्षित कुड बी विनिंग अस द फाइनल. राजीव.
ये ऐसा ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि ना कॉलेज के जो ग्रुप है ना आप दोनों का, उसमें ऑलरेडी एक झगड़ा हो चुका है करके. ये वहां का फ्रस्ट्रेशन यहाँ निकल रहा है करके. भाई हम तो सभ्य लोग हैं, हमारे सामने सब मतलब नहीं. खैर आई थिंक इंडिया का जो रेयर थिंग, एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई एम कमिंग. अमित, आपके पास आ रहा हूँ. इंडिया का एक रेयर थिंग ये है कि 15 का 15 परफॉर्मेंस के लिए रेडी है. हर टीम के पास 11-12 ही है, यहाँ 15 रेडी है. पंत को खिलाना चाहिए करके बात कर रहे हैं, अर्शदीप के लिए बात कर रहे हैं, हर चीज के लिए बात कर रहे हैं, राइट. सो मुझे ऐसा लगता है, आई मीन आई पर्सनली फील दैट दिस न्यूजीलैंड टीम इज द ओनली टीम इन दिस चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी हु हैज समथिंग टू फाइट विद इंडिया. बाकी किसी के पास नहीं है. आई एग्री विद अभिजीत. वो प्रेशर की वजह से ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ थोड़ा सा ये हो गया. बट अगर श्रेयस अय्यर और 5-10 ओवर रुक जाता या इवन अक्षर पटेल रुक जाता, मैच बहुत जल्दी खत्म हो जाता. So Australia fought well. You have to say they fought well, but not because of their capabilities or their competence, but because of वो जिगरा है ना, उसके साथ वो खेल गए. तो फिर वही हो गया. तो आप कैसे देखते हैं? How do you see the final? आपका प्रीव्यू क्या है? You can speak.
So my thought process is something what Bhaskar said. Firstly, I don't want to disturb the winning combination unless someone is carrying an injury, and that might be KL Rahul. If that happens, Pant is an immediate replacement. I don't think there is any need to discuss that. So we'll leave that part apart. But when it comes to comparing the spinners, so firstly, let's be very honest. New Zealand doesn't play spin that well as much as they are able to play the medium pacers or fast bowlers. They will definitely be more comfortable with that. Now, if you look at Akshar and Ravindra Jadeja, they both are very similar kind of bowlers. Yes, I think Akshar does bring in a little bit of differentiation with his little loop balls once in a while, but they both are left-handers. They both bring the ball, from outside to inside. And they both have a very similar trajectory of bowling. You will see the wickets falling are also very similar there. Varun has to play, but I would want that other left-hander bowler to also have a googly to actually work in tandem against some of the left-right combination that comes in from New Zealand. And that to me probably is going to be important because New Zealand is going to play with Latham. New Zealand is going to play with Rachin Ravindran. So they are both left-handers and they are very smart. They normally use them in that manner. So I would say that my team would still go unchanged unless there's an injury. And I think Kuldeep should play. He gives us a good option. And like always, Kuldeep is also a similar match winner. You know, in matches he's shown वो कब 3-4 विकेट आपको लेके लाके देगा, you never know, and he can be lethal on the day if he gets that little grip from the pitch. So my team is unchanged.
Oops, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Now I was saying कि I agree ये है, लेकिन मुझे नहीं पता कि कल कौन खिलाने वाला है। रोहित शर्मा 11th प्लेयर कैप्टन का चॉइस होता है, वो अब जिसको खिलाना चाहें वो खिलाएं। एक चीज है, जनरली सेमीज टू फाइनल में चेंज नहीं होता अनलेस कंडीशंस चेंज, और जैसे इंजरी की बात हुई थी वैसा कुछ हुआ तो, वरना चेंज नहीं होता। तो मैं चेंज होते हुए नहीं देख सकता। अभिजीत आपके पास आ रहा हूँ, हमारे पास बिल्कुल 4 मिनट 45 सेकेंड है हमारे पास। तो आपसे ये पूछूंगा, आप पहले तो अपना पॉइंट रख दें और ये भी बता दें कि आप किसको, whom do you think will win? We all may say the same thing, but where is New Zealand's chance, or what does India need to do to win? सब कुछ 1 मिनट के अंदर बोलना है।
So the first thing I wanted to say, we were speaking about the depth of the squad. हमने सब प्लेयर का नाम लिया, एक प्लेयर का नाम नहीं लिया, वॉशिंगटन सुंदर. Now Washington Sundar in the Test series versus Australia, the Test series versus New Zealand, the one which we lost 0-3. Washington Sundar was the best player for India. I think he took some 17 wickets or something in 2 Test matches. Knowing Gautam Gambhir and all, don't be surprised if an X factor like a Harshit Rana or Sundar comes in place of a Kuldeep Yadav. It is possible. And from a New Zealand point of view, they wonder, was this guy. He was the only player who completely demolished us in the Test matches. Now he's playing the final also. So don't count that out. I think New Zealand are a percentage cricket team. They make minimal errors. They will try their best to do what they can. But I think in a sluggish pitch, if you see the strike rates of these New Zealand batsmen in the match which just happened in the dead rubber, it was pretty low. And apart from Kane Williamson, none of them were even looking semi-confident also on the pitch. So I don't expect New Zealand to trouble India much while batting. New Zealand, while bowling, will be troubling India. They will field out of the blue. Let's not forget that day when India made 240 or 250, whatever India made that day versus New Zealand, there was a lot of out of the world catches taken by New Zealand. That's not going to happen again. 30 for 3 is not going to happen again. So I don't see any other winner apart from India. I think India will have a fairly comfortable win. Just like the New Zealand previous match or the semi-final, India will have a fairly comfortable win.
And Rajiv, one last point.
आप ही के पास आ रहा हूँ, ये पूरे
I
1.5 मिनट खा चुके हैं।
नहीं नहीं, लास्ट पॉइंट ये है कि दुबई, नोइंग द फाइनल मैच, very often you will see a better batting pitch than any of the other days. So you will get that advantage. अगर आप पाकिस्तान इंडिया का भी मैच अगर आप याद करो तो 300 स्कोर किया था पाकिस्तान ने इसी में फाइनल में. So दुबई क्यूरेटर्स नॉर्मली फॉर फाइनल, बिकॉज इट्स ऑलरेडी अ फुल हाउस, टिकट्स का हालत खराब है, ऑलरेडी ब्लैक चल रहा है कल से, there's heavy ticket sale going on. So you will get a batting wicket where you will see a lot more runs than what you have seen so far. Over to you.
Actually, they have kept one fresh wicket only for the final. तो वो पिच अनयूज्ड है, और वो पिच वो भी है जो IL T20 जो हुआ था उनका, उसमें सबसे लीस्ट यूज्ड है, इसीलिए वो बैटिंग को फेवर करेगा, मुझे भी लगता है। 280 300 का विकेट है। बट आप लास्ट में बता दीजिए, एनीथिंग व्हिच यू वांट टू से। अमित आप बता दीजिए, फिर आई कम टू भास्कर।
No, I'm done. Go to Bhaskar. Go ahead.
हाँ, भास्कर सो गए लगता है। आई थिंक ही डिडंट लाइक द वे
नहीं नहीं
अभिजीत टुक हिम ऑन। नहीं लेना चाहिए था
नहीं
सब।
नहीं नहीं
बोलिए भास्कर।
नहीं नहीं, मेरी बात यह है कि देखो, अभी एक ही रोहित को इश्यू है. What is he going to do at the toss? Even after the toss in the semi-finals, he said that he wasn't sure. So he said it's probably a good toss to lose. When you are not sure about what you want to do, that's why he needs to be very clear about what he wants to do. Because the way India has been chasing, and New Zealand also chases as well. So probably he might want to chase. I'm not too sure about what. I personally prefer big match bat first. But he said that thing during the semi-finals. He's due to win a toss now. He's been losing 14 tosses in a row. So I think that could be a crucial decision which he might have to take. But for that, I don't see any change coming in. They're going to go in with the same team. Because they surely want 40 overs of spin. That's what I feel.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think मेरा जो लास्ट अभी जो हमारे पास जो 30 सेकंड बचे हुए हैं, मैं यही कहूंगा कि प्ले विद कॉन्फिडेंस. यू डोंट नीड टू बी एज प्रेशराइज्ड एज यू फेल्ट अगेंस्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया. एंड मेरा सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम एक ही है कि ये 15 ओवर में 3 विकेट ना खो दें. आज जैसे न्यूजीलैंड ने बताया कि अगर आपके पास विकेट्स इन हैंड है, आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो. विकेट्स इन हैंड इज द थिंग. साउथ अफ्रीका वाज इन द गेम टुडे टिल बबूमा. दे प्लेड स्लोली, बबूमा एंड वांडरडोसन, बट दे वर इन द गेम बिकॉज विकेट्स इन हैंड था. तो वो मेन है, वो रहेगा तो जीत पक्का है. ठीक है. So with that, thank you guys. Thank you for joining and having a great podcast. We'll release it tomorrow. And you guys have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.